Vikadame and
The
Benarida.
second one is major events should be attended or organized. What does it mean? Which means that like today is our Pao traditional day. So we should participate or we should organize our traditional day, our cultural festival like that. So we should organize if you can. But if you cannot or someone organize for you, you have to participate by attending this ceremony like today. That is one of the best ways to preserve your cultural heritage. And last but not least, the last one is speak your own language, which means speak your mother tongue. Like in the morning, I heard that one of the speakers said, like they have more than 50 villagers in Korean state, but only a few villagers speak their own language. So which means that if you don't speak your own language, like Pao, whatever you are, if you're Pao, if you don't speak your own language, so one day your cultural heritage, your own language will disappear like that. So we should speak your own language. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer, my question. I got the three main points from you. The first is like promotes arts and technology from our culture. It's really important in our community. You know, we are just a small group. If we didn't promote our arts and the culture with advanced technology, we could not catch up with the world. Nowadays, the world changes really fast. We should catch up with the world, especially with advanced technology. The second main point is like the major event. For example, you know, every old people must interested to attend special occasion like Dansila Boy and Ajahn, Matadi like Ajanini. It's really important in our community to remind us we are Bo, we should not forget our special occasion. And the third is like a speak our own language and wearing our old clothes and costume. You know, you are Bo, you should speak old language, you should wearing your like traditional clothes. Like today, it's really, unique for us. I'm really grateful for you to wearing. I see you wearing Bo clothes. Also, the man and lady wearing Bo clothes is really gorgeous. And then, from related to question number one, I have the second question: how is it important to preserve our cultural heritage?
So I think it's really, really important to preserve or to maintain your cultural heritage. Because how can you show the people who you are, right? So if you want to show the people who you are, for example, how can you prove yourself? You are Pao, you are Burmese, you are Chan. How can you improve them? We can prove that we are Pao by wearing our clothes, speak our language, and maintain our traditional dance like this. So if we don't have any of those, for example, like the language, the traditional dancing and traditional music, we cannot say that we are Pao because we cannot prove it. So if I say that, how is it important? I think it's really, really important because it also reminds us who we are. And it also reminds us of our leader, what they did for us in the in the past. So it can include like history, your language, and your traditional food, and your traditional clothes. So I think this is really, really important to preserve our cultural heritage.
Yes, I got it. It's absolutely important in our community, you know. The best way to preserve our culture is really important. Why? Cultural heritage show us who we are. Especially we can remember in the past and history, especially our leader, Ulape and the Kem Surya Chandra, what they have done before in the past. That's why it's really important from question number two. Nowadays, because of the globalization and scientific war, it's really hard to preserve our cultural heritage. We have conflict. We are facing the many cultural shock. Right now, most of you live in Thailand, you know, you live in a foreign country. It's really hard for you to speak your own language and wearing your own culture. You are facing a difficulty. That's why we have the conflict to preserve our cultural heritage. That's why I have some question for you related to the conflict in our community. My first question is, what is the most common cause of ethnic conflict in our community?
So there are also many ways to create conflict, especially nowadays. So all of them, I would like to mention 2 or 3 reasons why there are so many conflict in our community or in our society where the place where we live. So if I would like to mention 3 of these common conflict in our society. So I think the first one is politician, and the second one is social media, and the third one is religion. So for example, nowadays, wherever you are, for example, in our whole region, even we are minority ethnic group, right? So if we have the election in our country, so you can see that there are more than one party if we have the election. So if you have more than one party in election, so you will also have more than one idea on the politician. So if we have more than one, so you will also have the conflict because you have the different idea, and the people also create conflict or problem on the different idea. And the second one is social media. Like nowadays, most of the people use social media, for example, like Facebook or YouTube, etc. So the people, I think that social media is one of the best, social media is a place where the people share their opinion. So at the same way, if you share your opinion, what you believe, what you like on social media, for example, about ethnic group, so the people will not agree with you all the time, and they will argue about it. If they have the argument on social media, they will also create the conflict in community. And the last one is, even though I don't want to mention it, but it's true that we can have conflict in our society on religion, right? So right now, like 21st century, so you cannot say that we need to believe, for example, like Buddhists. We all have to believe Buddhists. You cannot say that because like 21st century, every person can have their own belief, can have their own opinion, what they believe and what they like. So based on religion, they can also have big conflict in our society.
Okay, it's absolutely really important in our community because of due to politics, religion, and social media, we have conflict, argument, and different opinion. You know, if we didn't reduce this kind of treating, we could not be united for our future. That's why to reduce these 3 main things is the cause of a conflict. You know, we have to understand and appreciate that we have different religion, we have different party, we have different opinion on social media. It's really important for our community. We are just a small minority group. If we cannot reduce these 3 things, you know, we would disappear soon. That's why I have this question. Okay, related to question number 3. My last question is, the last but not least, what is the best way to manage conflict based on culture?
Right. So as we are human, if we have the way that can create the problem, we can also have the way to solve the problem, right? So I would say that there are also many ways to stop or to reduce or to solve any kind of problem or conflict in our society. But if you say that the best way, so I would like to mention the best way to solve any kind of problem or conflict is learning about other cultures. What does it mean? Which means that, as I mentioned before, if you have the different idea, different belief and different custom or different tradition, you can create a problem. So how can we reduce this? We can reduce it by learning about the other culture. For example, especially now we are in Thailand, right? Right now we are in Thailand, so it cannot be the same tradition, it cannot be the same religions, it cannot be the same belief, what we believe. So we need to understand about other culture. For example, if we understand about the other culture, we can reduce this problem. Because if you know only one thing, so you can say that, oh, our belief, our tradition, our traditional clothes is unique, and our belief is better than yours. You can say that. But if you learn about the other culture, you can also become to know that their culture, their belief is also good as art. So how can we get this knowledge? We can get this knowledge by reading book or training program or talking to other people from the different culture. So I would say that the best way to solve this problem is learning about other cultures.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. My last question, yeah, I got your point. Mean like we have to learn other people's culture and trying to understand other people's opinion, different opinion. Especially, we have to learn and read more book. If we read a lot of book, we can get a lot of the point of view from other people. We can improve ourselves, especially our mindsets and behavior. Especially, we can be an open person. If we are an open person, we can upset everything in our community. That's why we make the discussion today. The last suggestion is I would like to suggest all the poor people to